Okay, about a dozen years ago, I was driving across the Nevada desert all by myself, and the sun had just gone down and it was getting very dark, and I was getting very hungry, but I was a long way from the next town. I was just going to settle with the fact that there was nothing to eat, but suddenly I saw this light on the side of the highway up ahead. As I drew closer, I realized it was one of those little roadside greasy food stand, fast food stand kind of joints. And so I pulled into this lonely, dusty parking lot, and the place was lit up and still looked open, and I saw this sign that said, "Best pizza in the desert." And I thought, man, I could go for some of that desert pizza for sure. I'm starving. So I went up to the little window, and there was a very nice lady in there, and she informed me that she was just closing up for the evening, but I was in luck, you see, because she had this medium pepperoni pizza that nobody had bought, and I was welcome to have it for half price. So I readily agreed to the transaction, and I also bought a liter of Pepsi Cola, and as I said, she was just closing up, so all the little plastic patio furniture had been dragged in for the night. That's okay, I was content to go back and have my meal in my truck. So I did. I headed back to my truck and I sat down this pizza and I turned up my stereo and I started munching pizza, and she shut off the lights and locked the place up for the night. It was okay. I had this great meal going. And I'll tell you, that pizza was so bloody good and I was so bloody hungry. I'm not usually a big eater, but I could eat this. I normally couldn't eat this medium pizza, but I did. I mouthed the whole thing down. I remember just as I was basically finishing the last piece, basically I was putting the last inch of crust into my mouth. I went from being totally content and happy and thinking about getting on my way on my little road trip to suddenly, like a flick of a switch, I had to take the worst crap ever. And I was just like, I looked around and the place was closed, and I was kind of in the middle of the open, like I said, desert. There's no trees or cover or anything, nowhere to go. But man, it was bad. It was an emergency, and like this greasy cheese was pushing south, and someone was knocking on the back door and it wanted out. You know what I mean? And I looked out my window, and there was this kind of scrub grass right there beside my truck, between my truck and the highway, and I thought, man, I don't want to do that, but I really didn't have much choice. And I noticed there hadn't been much traffic like that. If I just pop over real quick, I can get this done, right? And I always got a roll of emergency shit wipe with me on a road trip. So I had my roll of paper. Yeah, okay, I'm going to do it quick. And I didn't want to soil the nice lady's parking lot, so I did the right thing. I took the empty pizza box and I laid it over. I hopped out real quick and looked around, and I dropped my dirty dungarees and I squatted down there. And I basically built this little steaming log cabin in the pizza box. Right? So after I was done, I cleaned myself up and I pulled up my pants. I took that pizza box and I folded the lid over and I squished down the roof of my cabin and spread out. And I don't want to get gross, but you know, you imagine a triple coiler, it probably looks like a cinnamon bun after something. I don't know. Anyway, so I didn't want to litter either, so I took the pizza box, I held it out at arm's length, and I started heading across the parking lot, because in the back corner I noticed there was this big dumpster back there. And all of a sudden I get about halfway there, and the side door to the restaurant opens, and this light washes out across the parking lot. Oh my God, I'm eating my meal. I figured she'd left or something. I didn't realize she was still there. She was doing the books in the back. She goes, "Oh, how was the meal?" I said, "Oh, it was really good, thanks." And she starts walking towards me, and I start walking faster towards the dumpster, and she starts walking, "Here, let me get that for you." I was like, "No, it's okay, I got it." She's like, "No, let me get that." I was like, "No, really, I got it." You see, she had the angle on me. There was nothing I could do, and she got right to me. And she grabbed that pizza box with my still smoldering thrice coiled doogie inside, and she took it right out of my hands. And all I could think to do was turn on my heel and say, "Thanks, good night." And I hightailed her back to my truck, and I did not look back to see if she maybe got curious and wondered about the weight of the box. You know, how much did that young man leave in here? No, not realizing she was speaking metaphorically, of course. And I just remember getting in my truck, and I really didn't look to see if she got curious enough to actually open the box and find my stinky surprise. But I do know that I wiped my ass really well that night, and the only skid marks that came out of the incident were the ones that my truck left in the parking lot. As I hightailed it out into the desert night air, never to return again.
With a staggering score, really, of 50.3. Walking away with gold tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it is...